So obviously in the video I did before, I'm gonna do a remembrance of Raul Salinas, though it's nowhere near. It's already passed, but I'm just starting YouTube, so okay. So here's the paper clipping that I showed you in the last video. I'm gonna read you what it says. News of Raul Salinas' death came swiftly, accepting it will take a little longer. I received a phone call this morning. He died this from Sister Maria Limon, who was making the calls from La Pena. I immediately called the Chronicles books editor as if immediately called the Chronicles book editor as the paper went to the press on Wednesday. This was big news. The poet and owner of Res, Res, Licencia bookstore, home of the Red Salmon Arts, was also a teacher, a community and social activist, a mentor in spite un vato loco, an inspiration, a husband, a compadre. Too many labels to mention. Raul Salinas is known and respected around the world. After I'd done my job, a peculiar second thought came to my head. Maybe Maria was joking. How dare she put me in this position of calling my paper with news that was a hoax? Deep down I knew that wasn't true, but I wanted the reason to be angry with her. When I reached her, she assured me in the gentlest manner that it was true. Raul was dead, and then the tears came. Raul had been sick for many years, keeping at bay the liver cancer that had come upon him a few years back, but returned with growing ferocity. I don't know. 2 years ago, Raul was a fighter, which explains why he lasted so long. News of his death was not a surprise, but it still was a shock. The day of his memorial service, his son Larry read a poem he wrote to assemble mourners. In it, he wondered who was this man who was such a good father, mentor, and guide to everyone else, while painfully absent to him in his views. His words brimmed with righteousness, anger, raw tenderness, and awe for the man so many of us had the pleasure of knowing and learning from, while his son star starved, starved for his presence. It was the kind of truth-telling I think Raoul would have respected. When it was my turn to offer Larry my condolences, I told him I always respected your father, but I didn't realize how much I loved him. Here's the part that's cut off. Neither. I loved him. I've not neither, he said. I have neither, I think. Below are a few remembrances of Raoul's. I think it got crumbled when I got laminated, so I don't know. Memorials can be found in the Austin Chronicles website at the austinchronicles.com/chronics. Several other blogs, posted, and emails about Raoul are already flying in cyberspace, which is funny since Raoul was no high-tech Aztec. He preferred pen and paper. I like to imagine Raoul's spirit flying around now, alighting once in a while to literally surf cyberspace to check out what the young ones are saying about him. Raul Salinas present something in Spanish, I can't read it. Raul Salinas was a poet of the most serious kind. He knew He knew that poetry was the matter of life and death. He knew that neither would wait for poetry. He was a man who spoke the truth that came to him from the dust of the earth. He walked on. He was a poet, a struggle, who did not put poetry in the pocket. He struggled in others because he knew that one would get nowhere without the other. Raoul was a poet of freedom. He embraced it only as those who have who have known prison can embrace freedom. He was a poet of justice, who knew that poetry always has some business to do with justice, and that justice is always in some way poetic. Raoul was I can't would mourn you. We miss you. We mourn you. We miss you. But we keep more than we lose. Not just your words, but the light, the fight, the strength. Paz y Gloria, Raúl Salines, su alma se libró y brilla, 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 brillará, I get tongue twisted. Para nosotros una estrella, para nosotros la estrella. That makes no sense, but it says San Juan, Puerto Rico. And then it says Raul Salinas was selfless, passionate, and genuine. Was a genuine fighter. He literally influences lives beyond the tremendous legacy for us to keep alive in the hearts of our community. His laughter and love will be greatly missed, but his words will continue to inspire generations to come. The last time I saw Raul Salinas was outside La Monty's Cafe Wednesday before he passed away. I was just leaving after having a bowl of their Wednesday special, the sopa tabasco. It is so good with its chili base. It's pretty picoso, perfect for my chilerio self. He saw me and gave me a chulo saludo, a quick up trip of the head. When I told him I came for the sopa because we all needed something to warm up, he said that's the reason he goes to La Manitias as many Wednesdays as he can. The sopa tobasca is his favorite. Well, with that I have to give him the big hug because you don't always find other chilorios, even among Chicanos. His last words to me that day in between squeeze were, "Be cool. Que vive el merio chilerio." Celeste Guzman, poet and assistant director of development, University of Texas Press, Austin, Texas. I am proud to be one among many proteges adopted by a man who taught with examples in Zreganar in music and poetry. Part of Gig Funera, part Pablo Norreda. He was a co-founder of a small group we called Los Literalocos. Some Spanish word, I can't understand it. He kept me off the streets and out of trouble while putting me to work at the Resistencia bookstore. We celebrate his life and his friendship and the words he left us. We are saddened by the passing of our friend, our colleague, Raúl R. Salinas. Primary poet, community activist, and as poet Jose Montoya might say, un vato del Atoya. Raúl and Simas had a long history of collaboration. More personally, I shall never forget his kindness to me and my late wife during his own illness. Simas will be hosting an event in his memory next 2 weeks. This is American Studies at the University of Texas. Rest in peace, Raúl.